here. Before I invite our first speaker, I would just like to talk a little bit about sustainability and what that actually means. I know for many of us, for many of us, sustainability is not one of those exciting topics to have. But I can assure you, having seen this particular report, that there are really some exciting announcements, data, information, and revelations that Kenya Airways and the team that has worked on it have had to share. So even as we're about to start, I really encourage you to please have a look at the report, get engaged with it, and you can learn something new about aviation and the airline. So to let us more about this particular report, I would like to invite on stage again Susan to just give us a highlight of what the report is all about. And yeah, we'll pick it up from there.
Thank you, Henry. All right, my name is Susan Nambusi. I am the Senior Manager, Innovation and Sustainability. So sustainability is part of the sections that I oversee. And very glad to see you all here today. I will... Okay. Here? Okay. All right. So as I was saying, sustainability is one of the sections that I oversee, and we are very glad to see all the efforts from our teams just come to fruition in this document that we are about to unveil today. So, distinguished guests, Madam Teresia Mbaika, Principal Secretary, State Department of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. John Elungata, Secretary, Administration, State of Environment and Climate Change, and all protocols observed, industry partners, colleagues, and friends of Kenya Airways, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So it's my honor and privilege, of course, to deliver these remarks on this occasion as we launch the first ever, as Henry has said, standalone and externally assured sustainability report for the year 2024. So I'll just take you through a bit of technical things that we looked at as we were preparing this report. So this report covers the period 1st January to 31st December 2024 and is aligned with global sustainability reporting frameworks. So they are not Kenya Airways frameworks. And the frameworks we have aligned to include the GRI standards. Another one is the UN Global Compact, the Nairobi Securities Exchange ESG guidelines as well, and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So as you go through the report, you will find that we have aspects of these standards well covered within the report. So this report represents our strong internal governance, board oversight, and an evolving environmental, social, and governance culture at KQ. So through rigorous stakeholder engagement and external assurance, there was a lot of work that we did with our internal teams and externally with, when you talk about external assurance, we're talking about an audit. So it is not just a report that KQ has put together and is launching, but this report, somebody else has gone through to confirm that it reflects the true reflection of the work that we do as an airline. We ensure that our reporting reflects what matters most to our business and to our stakeholders. At Kenya Airways, our sustainability vision is clear: to place sustainability at the heart of our growth, resilience, and also innovation. And the next speakers will tell you how we are putting this into action through various initiatives across the business. But then again, it goes beyond initiatives. It is a culture. This report is a result of the tireless effort of cross-functional teams, as I have mentioned, from our engineering department to operations to procurement, to finance, to communications, and many, many other teams within the organization. To our board and executive leadership, we thank you for your vision, because it is through this vision that we have been able to accomplish what we are launching today. And we thank you for walking this journey with us. To the regulators, the partners, and the stakeholders, and to every staff whose work is reflected in the pages that we are going to see today, this achievement is yours, and we thank you so very, very much. So this report is not just a document that we are putting out, but it goes to show the continuous work that we'll keep doing over the years. As we say, sustainability grows progressively. So it will speak to the continued work that we'll put in and become an inspiration for stronger partnership, deeper impact, and a collective resolve to reimagine Africa aviation through a sustainable lens. It doesn't just look at environment, because most of the time when you mention sustainability, people think we are talking about environment. We are looking at how we are performing economically, how we are performing socially, and how our governance looks like. And of course, with the aspects of environment in there as well. So thank you very much. Good to see you here. And yes, we have planned a very engaging session for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I think she deserves a long round of applause. There's something she mentioned which I need to emphasize. This is the first standalone, externally assured sustainability report. I don't know if anyone in the room knows what that actually means, because there are many reports out there, but this is the first one of its kind. It's the one that is assured that we can verify the content and the information and the data that has been shared in that particular report. It's the first one in Kenya, I believe, and also in Africa. So to tell us a little bit more about the sustainability report, I would like to invite Helen Mathuka, who is our Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer, and maybe she can tell us more about the standalone and what that actually means.
Thank you, Henry. Wow. We had not envisaged to have many microphones. So we'll have to work with these. Madam PS, you're most welcome, and thank you very much for honoring us and gracing us with your presence today. All protocols observed. I don't have a speech as such, because for us, sustainability is a way of life. It is not an event. It is not a thing that we wake up and pick, but it's something that we do on a continuous basis. And who better placed to tell us what they do on a continuous basis other than the chiefs or the directors that are in charge with this portfolio. So for this session, we've selected just 4 of us to discuss what really happens at KQ from a sustainability perspective. You'll hear what we do from a customer perspective, from a people perspective, from an operations perspective. Of course, the operations is where we emit a lot, and what we are doing towards ensuring that we are responsible as an organization, and the plans we have in place to ensure that we will reduce our footprint, and finally from an IT perspective. So I'll welcome to stage Julius Tairo. Julius is the Chief Commercial and Chief Commercial and Customer Officer. Fred Kitunga, the Chief Technology and Data Officer. Tom Shivo, the Chief People Officer, and Captain Paul Njoroge, Director of Operations, who has gracefully accepted to represent George Kamau. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. So it will be brief, and I hope it's going to be sweet. So we had better move with speed. So the first question is to the people officer. From a people perspective, how is sustainability embedded in our HR strategy? It's not clear. Sorry. It's not loud enough. Oh, sorry.
Good morning, everybody. So first and foremost, we look at people.
Oh, I think they stand here.
Okay, thank you very much. So from where we sit, people are important assets, and we have a protocol around policies that we develop, and we have been looking at gender as one of the elements of equity. And we have a target, a global target of 25% by 2025. Now, we are not yet there, but that's the aspiration that we had in terms of women in leadership and 50% from a global perspective. So we have moved the dial by 2% over the last 2.5 years, from 42 to around 44.5% for women, and we continue to grow. And with regards to women in leadership, we are now at 17%, moving towards the 25% by 2030. So we have moved it 1 digit, and this year our target is 2-digit points. With regards also to decent work, we have very specifically focused on improving our environment where we are able to accommodate persons living with disability. And this year, and including last year, we have statistics from having 2 individuals, and now we have 10 individuals who are persons living with disability of different nature. And it's an area of focus that we have built in, for example, persons living with neurodivergent conditions, working in our IT department, and at the same time also persons with visual impairment, hearing impairment, and other impairments. Lastly also, engagement is a critical concern for us. Critical concern because beyond our values, we also want to have the right staff morale. And we have worked on our engagement initiatives and our work morale. And we now have a NPS, which is the satisfaction level or metric that has moved now from in the last 1 year by 14 points, a positive 40, which is a growth of 14 points that we are looking at. So engagement, therefore, is a critical thing around the sustainability of the employee base. Those are the critical things that I would like to comment about.
Tom? Thank you, Tom. If you take time to read the report, you will be able to see all that has been highlighted and more in terms of our commitment from a people environment perspective. Next, I will go to our technology chief. So in charge of technology is Fred Kitunga. Fred, would like you to discuss how you support technology, or rather how you support the organization in terms of sustainability, what aspects you've looked at, and what you're really proud of for the year 2024 and the commitments for the future.
All right. Good morning, everyone. All right. Let me say that I'm much excited to be here today in this lounge. From a technology point of view, let me say that our digital transformation strategy at its bedrock supports sustainability. We see technology or digitalization as an enabler to making sure that we are able to access or harness the opportunities that are there so that our business can be sustainable. To focus on really key things that we are doing or that we are proud of and we are doing to drive this is making sure that Kenya Airways as an organization is data informed in all aspects of decision making. What I mean by this is that in every aspect of our operations, we are using data, we are relying on data. So we have proudly, I can say that, partnered with some of the best industry players to to have technology in place that helps us to have prediction and do analytics and trends using data so that we make the right decisions at the right time, and also be able to foresee opportunities that are there in the future, because I believe that sustainability is about opening the opportunities in the future. So using data in our flight operations, especially in fuel management, we have systems, if I may say, like the flight management systems that helps us to optimize our routes, that make sure that we reduce every kilo saved of fuel. That speaks to sustainability. And again, also helping us to make sure that as we crew our cabin, and also as we plan for the food and all that that's needed in the aircraft, we have the right quantity and the right capacity, so that we also reduce on aspects of the weight that is needed, so that there is no waste. There are so many other areas that we are dealing with, and of course working with the Fahari Innovation Hub to open opportunities that are available. We have created an ideation portal where we receive a lot of information from different members of staff, because we believe innovation and sustainability, they go hand in hand, and innovation is across the business, so that we can collect those ideas and come with the best out of the pool, and then we focus on those ones to develop them. So a lot of technology involvement, a lot of prediction in data, and if I may say also in cyber security, we use automation that helps us to make sure that we keep aware ourselves of what's happening in the industry, what we call the dark web and the deep web. Again, to preserve our core assets and make sure that the organizations remain stable. There are quite a number of things, but then again, be very sharp is using data, cyber security awareness, and also making sure that we have the right prediction to drive efficient and effective operations for our business. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If you read the report again, you will see what we've done in that space. And just to follow up on what Tom has said, it is in his department that we have a lot of students who work with us in terms of who are differently abled, who work with us in terms of coming up with new programs, new applications, and that basically helps us contribute further, or rather embed our commitment in terms of sustainability. Now, I'll go over to the Chief Commercial Officer. I think I need to promote you to people at this rate. So, Julius is in charge of the customer journey, and we'd like to hear from you. What are the key highlights from a sustainability perspective that you saw in the year 2024? What you're looking to in terms of the future, in terms of carbon offset programs, sustainability holidays and such like things. Is there anything in the pipeline for us? First, talk about what you've achieved and what you have in the pipeline.
All right. Do I need to hold this? My goodness. I can't even see my face. Morning, everyone. All right. I'll try to be brief. Thank you, Helen. First of all, for us, from a commercial point of view, we integrate sustainability in all our offerings, right from route planning all the way to the products that we are extending to our customers. We don't see sustainability as a measure of compliance or as just a measure of compliance, but we actually see it as a competitive differentiator. So if I look at last year, as Kenya Airways, we had a successful year. Transported more than 5 million people. So from a route network, we expanded within Africa, offering connectivity and empowering people. And so we had, whether it's diaspora mobility, people who are able to move from different countries into Kenya, whether it is traders, whether it's farmers, whether it's students, we enabled that. We also uplifted quite a significant amount of cargo, more than 70 tons, which is all about sustainable development of Africa, which is critical for us. We also look at, we are developing products, especially around holidays, sustainable holiday products. And these are products to destinations that are sustainable, because as we look at Kenya and the offerings that we have, the bedrock of our tourism is around sustainability, and it's something that we need to keep moving forward. So, so looking forward, what are some of the things that we are working on? Exciting things is, one, we continue to optimize our network. In fact, exciting news is next week, on 2nd of July, we'll be launching Gatwick. Why I'm particularly mentioning Gatwick and aligning it with sustainability is because Gatwick, from a cost point of view, is a less expensive destination to operate than London Heathrow. But you are still in the heart of London. So as a company, we are very deliberate to pick destinations that make us sustainable as an organization, but also a less expensive destination means that we are able to pass on the benefit to customers and they're able to travel there. We'll also be working a lot around the area of innovation, together with my technology partner here. I see some of our travel partners here when it comes to disrupting how people make their bookings. This is in the area of retailing. We were the first airline to launch new distribution capability, which allows people to book easier, which also lowers costs when it comes to booking travel, and allows personalization. So we understand what you need. It's like when you go and you're going for lunch, a buffet. You know, they have everything for you there, but you choose what you want, because what you want is to eliminate cost and lower and ultimately eliminate waste, but ultimately lower cost. So these are some of the exciting things we're doing, and we'll continue to work with everyone here, and we're very excited for the support you're giving the organization. Thank you.
Asante sana, Julius. Now we go to the core of the business. This is the function that oversees flight operations, maintenance, and ground services. It's core to our airline's environmental footprint. Captain, tell us, what is our operational strategy for sustainability? What are you looking forward towards ensuring that we meet our commitment for net zero emissions by 2050? And finally, give us examples.
From a brand point of view, interesting is we'll be driving a message, and I think Captain Paul mentioned it, where we encourage our customers to fly with less bags, pack less, if you can, because you burn less. Sometimes you find you go on a holiday and you've got so many things that you didn't need, but also we'll be advocating a lot for fly direct. When you fly via, it's a lot of emission, again, a lot of waste. Fly Kenya Airways, fly to direct destinations, and that will be a contribution to sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Julius. Fred, your final question is on how you intend to engage customers on sustainability. Like, do you envisage coming up with carbon calculators and such like things?
All right. I'll start with an African proverb. This is what it says: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with other people. Sorry. Again, I'm not a politician. Let me try again to put this together. Yeah, it says if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together with people. So, to your question, Madam Helen, is that we are engaging customer. Let me say this: I'm proud, as very soon we are launching a very engaging customer to unlock potential. Like I said, we see sustainability as unlocking potential for future business, and that's and also growth. That's how we are working with partnerships. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. So finally, to Paul, how will operations innovate to hit our interim sustainability target, that is, say, by 2030, on the way to net zero by 2050, while maintaining our high standards of safety and reliability?
Right. Again, difficult questions, but we are already on the way, and we have a path there. As I said, on our ground services equipment, without compromising on any safety standards, actually increasing our safety standards, because you have motorized equipment that is not using fuel, so electric equipment. Our target is by 2030 to be at 25% sustainable vehicles within the ground services equipment, and that will continue to grow as we go towards 2050. We are committed to the COSIA initiative, and as an airline, first of all, with the regulator that signed up for COSIA, not all African countries have signed up. So EU is different. EU, there is EU ETS, which you have to be compliant when you're flying within EU. However, in Africa, you do not have to offset carbon. So we as an airline are already putting in our data and collecting our data, and we submit it to the regulator as required by ICAO, and that allows us to measure our carbon offset, carbon emissions. By 2027, we'll be now making sure that we are offsetting our carbon, and that will allow us to go towards the net zero. In addition to that, newer equipment. So, as much as I'm in management, I also fly aircrafts, which means that newer equipment is good for me. So newer equipment burns less fuel, flies faster. So ideally, it's fly faster, burn less fuel. Aviation as an industry, the biggest issue with aviation as an industry is the amount of fuel, the amount of kilograms of fuel that a passenger burns per kilometer traveled. So that's why aviation, in as much as it's 2 to 3% of the carbon emissions globally, it is seen to be creating a lot of carbon. So our idea is to make sure that we reduce the amount of carbon. So PS, this is our ask. Make sure Travel Kenya policy is in place, because the more people that are in an aircraft, the more we fill the aircraft, the less people that, the less carbon emissions per passenger. So fill our aircrafts. So Fly Kenya policy is a must for us. That's part of reducing our carbon emissions. And then finally, it is to make sure that we continue to partner with sustainability fuels, and our aim is to make sure that we have commercial flights that are using sustainable aviation fuels. Sustainable aviation fuels are still quite expensive, so ideally is to make sure that we partner with people that can reduce the cost so that we can have them on commercial aircrafts. And we will continue to do that until we are at net zero by 2050. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think we have, in a nutshell, unpacked the report. We encourage each one of you to read it. Thank you very much to my panelists. You can take your seat. You have heard that sustainability is not a one department issue. The only responsibility I have is to ensure that it is happening. So I collate data. I ensure that everyone is doing their part, but it's the business that runs it. Key takeaways from that session is integration. That is, sustainability is truly integrated across our business, from how we treat our employees and customers to how we run our flights, and embraced new technology. It's evident that every decision is guided by creating lasting positive impact, just as our leadership envisions. From the next takeaway was progress and highlight. So we have shared our 2024 progress. If you looked at the draft, we have actually had sustainability reports in the past. We did an abridged version in 2022. We did a complete report in 2023, which was part of our annual report, annual financial statements, that is in 2023. However, 2024 is a highlight, and that's why we are launching it, because we have measured the progress over the years, and secondly, we've had ensured that it is assured externally, so it is audited. So we have actually shown our progress. So one of the things you'll see in the report, it has 2023 data and 2024 data. We have a commitment for the future. You've heard it for yourselves from each of the panelists. So and it's not a one-off. it's a way of life. And it ties very well with our vision. So without taking too much of our time, that's the end of our panel. I hope we've learned a lot. And on behalf of Kenya Airways, I thank our panelists, I thank our guests, and hand over back to the MC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before we go ahead, in the excitement of starting the program, we missed out on a very important session. I would like to invite Ruth to give us a safety briefing, because I'm aware some of us are not familiar with this particular building. As she comes, I would like to recognize the presence of Titus Kielu, Head of Regulatory Affairs at NSC. Ruth, just come. I would also like to recognize Conrad Afande, Manager Education and Awareness from Capital Markets Authority, and Alex Munyere, Senior Disability Officer at the National Council for People Living with Disability.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruth Wawero from Corporate Safety. For those who have not been here, welcome to Kenya Airways Pride Center. We are at level 2 of the Pride Center. In each and every end of this building where we are sitting, we have our exits. In case of any fire alarm, but for clarity, we do not anticipate to have any. Kindly walk down the stairs. We have stairs on both ends at the main entrance and at the corner to my right, which is to your left. And then we have the fire assembly point just near the main entrance, the main gate. Should you feel unwell, we have our medical clinic within this facility, but it's also outside the fence of this environment, Pride Center. However, it is good or advisable to advise any of us. We have first aiders in-house here, but should it require any further medical attention, we can escort you to the medical facility. We are preaching sustainability. We kindly request and appeal that we have waste management responsibly done. We have litter bins strategically positioned in the building, so we kindly request for your responsible waste management. Thank you and welcome again to Pride Center.
Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much, Ruth. I would like now to invite our Group Managing Director and CEO to take us through the next session. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes on stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, first of all, I just wanted to say, Julius, you've not been promoted to CPO. I know it has been said many times, so you still stay in your role. That's the first clarification I wanted to make. Paul, people who say they're not politicians are politicians, isn't it? The people who deny being politicians, those are the true politicians. So if you hear someone saying, I'm not a politician, they're saying, have you heard people saying thief, thief? And they're the ones who have stolen. So we now know the politicians in our group. That is Fred and Paul. So in 2027, PS, these people might be contesting with you, so let's see. Yeah, so first PS, welcome to Pride Center. We have a lot of people here who are our partners. I actually don't want to mention some, because if I mention some, I'll forget others. So let me just say, I'll acknowledge the PS and say, Karibu sana, thank you very much for honoring us with your presence. And many other partners, I've seen Afra here, I've seen ICAO, I've seen IATA, I've seen our daughter Jambojet here, I've seen travel partners, and all those other people that I've not mentioned. I've seen you. Okay? Now, what I want to do is, because we want to keep time, you know, we are an airline, so we have to keep time. And I want to release you out of here by 11. So there are many people who would have spoken. Oh, I've even noticed ICAO, the regional director, Lucy, although she came late, so punishment. So what I would like to do is I'll invite just one of the very many visitors to say one word here, and that is Emil Arau, who is our regulator, KCA DG, just to say one or two things. I'll stand here, so just 2 minutes, and then I can give my remarks.
Thank you, Alan. PS, the Department of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Madam Terry Mbaika. And standing on other protocols that have been established, I know I have 1 minute, I'm going to take 30 seconds just to really say it's exciting to be here to see KQ set in history again. Some time back, KQ carried out the first intercontinental SAF flight. And then also a few years back, the biodiesel plant. I was also expecting to hear about that. But most, I've stolen your thunder. No, I have a few seconds. So just to really mention, it's exciting to see, starting from where Bwana Shivo, it's really encouraging because each one of us is made by our Heavenly Father, and there are special gifts and graces within each one of us. No one is more special or less special than the other. And so it's very exciting to see the emphasis on gender and really ensuring everybody has their place at KQ to ensure a sustainable operating environment. And kudos for that, Alan. You have a very effective team. Helen there, really doing her thing. Where is Susan hiding? She was very key in ensuring that SAF flight. And we collaborate together, each one of our African continent. In fact, in aviation security, we are top 5 in the world. That, ladies and gentlemen, was actually driven by a lady, Ms. Beatrice Mudhoga, who's the manager of aviation security, coordinating, working with all partners in security to ensure, including KQ, the Kenya Police, and everyone else, to ensure that Kenya performs very well. She's just come from an audit, an ICAO audit, helping other states because they're all looking to Kenya. So as KQ continues leading the way in the sustainability engagement, on behalf of the authority, under the leadership of our PS, we are here to support you. And we know strength and diversity, all of us working together, will continue ensuring Kenya is at its position at the top. And by God's grace, we'll continue getting better. So Alan, from us, kudos, and you have all our support. Asante sana.
Thank you. That was definitely not 30 seconds, but thank you, DG. Thank you for your support. So I think you've had a lot already from the team here. So I had been given here some speech to read. I'm not going to read it. Saving grace. But what I'll do is I'll put some numbers to already the discussions that you had my chiefs talking about here, so that you can contextualize what we're doing here from a sustainability point of view. First off, I wanted to say that we talk about people, for instance, starting with the Chief People Officer. So for us, sustainability is in our vision. So our vision is preferred airline, Africa Preferred and Sustainable Aviation Group. So sustainability sits right in the middle of our vision. Why do we say sustainable aviation group? So first of all, because when you think about sustainability, we want to be here in perpetuity. We want to, in all our practices, like Helen was saying, we need to make sure that those practices are sustainable, they're repeatable, and in themselves are renewable. Okay, so not only about environment, but also talking about the economy, the way we impact our society, and then the way we govern, the way we work through our governance. About our leadership, so currently we're at 17%, and we're not saying that's good. 17% of our leaders are women. We want to move that to 25%, which is actually an ICAO also projection. They also want to move the leaders in aviation to be ladies by 25% by 2025, which is this year. So we missed the mark already, but for us, we are targeting 2030. So that's one number. The other number is about our ground service equipment. So all the when you go to the airport, whatever you see in the ramp, those are ground service equipment. So 12 of those are electric as we speak, but like the DJ was trying to steal my thunder. What we did last year is we set up a plant where we are converting waste plastic to what we call pyro-diesel. Now, pyro-diesel is still diesel, so it's definitely not clean, but it is a lot cleaner than traditional diesel, fossil diesel, by 50% less emissions for both carbon and 50% less emissions for sulfur. So that plant is not just producing a cleaner diesel, it is also eliminating plastic waste. And that's in our function. So that one we use for the ground service equipment. Another statistic is inclusion. I think you heard a lot about the inclusion, the numbers that Tom was mentioning here. But I also wanted to mention that we also partner with not just the national, it's a sight to behold. Again, that is a oxymoron. But anyway, they came and they were touching the wheels and saying, so this is how the wheel feels like, and this is how the aircraft looks like. They were touching and they were explaining to each other. It was very, very beautiful. So those are the kinds of social impacts that we want to have in society all around in terms of inclusivity. So for us, it's not just about greenwashing or rhetoric or having a nice little page in our reports, but it's very, very practical things of impacting society, of being sustainable economically, and also impacting our environment. And that is why the report, which Helen has said many times you should read, but didn't tell us how we should read it. Maybe you should tell us how we can access the report. But that is the report that you read is factual, only verified, standalone, not just Kenya, in Africa as well. And I believe in aviation. If you do not adele the kerosene that craft, then you are not addressing 64% of the problem. Now, it is a very difficult one to address for several reasons. The first is that sustainable aviation fuel, of course, is new technology. So it has to be developed, designed, and then made sure that it is usable safely. So a lot of that has been done already. So there's availability of SAF. But there's only 2% of availability of sustainable aviation fuel versus the need. And I'm talking about globally. So there's a severe shortage. And with severe shortage, the rules of economics tell us that scarcity of supply leads to very high cost. So the cost of sustainable aviation fuel is estimated, it's actually currently about 5 times, maybe it will go down 4 times the cost of our traditional jet fuel. That's a big deal. Why? Because if you have 5 times the cost of fueling your aircraft, someone has to pay for it. And guess who that is? It is the passenger. You're avoiding to say that. It has to be the passenger because someone has to pay for it. 35% of our cost, 35 to 40% of our cost is fueling. So if 35% of our cost is going up 5 times or maybe 4 times in the next 1 year, then someone has to pay for it. So it's a big deal for that reason. So it is being addressed globally. It's not a Kenya Airways problem, it's an industry problem, because if you have to address environmental sustainability, you have to address fuel, and if you have to address fuel, you have to address access to that fuel, and you also have to address the cost of that fuel, which is extremely, extremely expensive. So it's a discussion we're having now. From a Kenya Airways point of view, what are we doing? So from a Kenya Airways point of view, what we're doing is we want to be part of production. So we've entered into an MOU with a local producer of sustainable aviation fuel by doing 2 things. By looking for degraded land in Kwale, which is a former mine sites, and then there we plant the trees that will produce a feedstock that will eventually produce sustainable aviation fuel. Of course, that's a long-term project because the trees have to mature and then produce a feedstock and then produce a sustainable aviation fuel. But we have to start somewhere. That way we'll help the world, or the aviation world, to produce sufficient sustainable aviation fuel to help reduce environmental impact. But in the meantime, we do all other things, including what was emphasized by the chiefs here, particularly on how we fly our aircraft, how we acquire aircraft and make them more efficient. Then there's a question of what is the big issue for our environment today, because we have to be relevant to our environment here in Kenya and in Africa. The big issue in Africa and in Kenya, among other things, is deforestation. So we want to be part and parcel of afforestation, not just so that it can support carbon substitution, but also because it is a good thing for the environment. And I'm sure John is going to come and help us to emphasize that. So part of our commitment, I know that Captain Njoroge said we have planted 1.2 million trees, but that's in the past. Going forward, we want to continue planting that 1.2 million trees every year as part of the governmental project of afforestation. So that will help us, like I said, to help contribute more to making the environment better, but it will help us to demonstrate that we have more carbon elimination in the environment. So those are the two big projects that we are working on to drive sustainability. So I don't want to continue from there. There was a speech here that I promised you I was not going to read, but I just wanted to contextualize some of those things that we are doing and just say that we are extremely committed to this. Like I said, sustainability is embedded in our vision. It is in everything that we do. It is important for us because it is important for business, and that's why we do it there. So it's not just a strategy for us, unlike many companies, but it is really the cornerstone of our operation. With those remarks and clarifications, I'll end my comments there, and then I would like to invite now to come and speak to us, representing the PS of Environment, Mr. John Elungata, who is the Secretary Administration, State Department of Environment and Climate Change. John.
Thank you very much, Alan, the CEO of Kenya Airways. Madam PS Teresia Mbaika, PS for the State Department for Aviation and Aerospace Development, and of course Alan Kilavuka, our own CEO for Kenya Airways. All other protocols observed. Madam PS, the PS, your colleague sent his compliments and says he would have wished to be here with you because you share a lot of things. And he has said that I read a few remarks that he has for this occasion. I'm honored, him that is, to join you for the launch of Kenya Airways 2024 Sustainability Report, a commendable achievement that aligns with Kenya's environmental goals. Kenya, as you know, is committed to reducing GHG emissions, the carbon emissions, by 32% by 2030. I'm proud to note that KQ is contributing to this through its fleet modernization, operational efficiencies, and especially the development of sustainable aviation fuel. The SAF project, developed with local partners, exemplifies the public-private partnership that we need to drive green growth. KQ's pledge to grow 1.2 million trees annually using seedball drones with support from our own Kenya Forest Service strengthens our reforestation agenda and biodiversity protection. KQ's support for the ban on single-use plastics, cutting waste by 15%, and powering ground operations with renewables all align with the National Environmental Policy and our single-use plastic ban. This, I must say, is more than compliance. It is leadership. It shows that green investment delivers resilience, innovation, and long-term value. As Professor Wangari Maathai once said, the environment and the economy are really two sides of the same coin. Kenya Airways is proving that aviation can be a force for sustainability and strength. Congratulations. Asanteni sana, those are his remarks, and we wish to commend KQ for launching this report. Very few of our own corporates have done this, and I think Kilavuka, you from where you came from, where you now stand, we commend you. Asante sana.
Thank you very much for those wonderful remarks, and pass our regards to the PS as well. So now I'd like to invite my boss, who's a PS of Aviation and Aerosports Development. By the way, she was a politician, so be careful. To see Embark, come and address us, please.
We continue clapping. Thank you, Alan. Allow me to read my remarks, and then I can say a few words from the speakers who have spoken before me. My name is Terry Mbaika, and I'm specific on fuels and helping establish a national SAF task force. Other success areas include the single use of plastics across airlines, facilitating and waste management through the recycling of paper, plastic and electric waste. The airline sustainability goals support Kenya's own net zero ambitions by 2050. This aligns to the core businesses in aviation. Away from the environment, it is commendable to note that the women now represent 44% of the workforce at KQ, a notable growth of 2% from the 2023. Tupigieni makofi. Gender equity is key in governance and leverages on the strength of staff base. Digitalization is also an enabler. Through innovation, policy alignment, and public-private collaborations, KQ is setting a benchmark for African aviation. It is global awards for sustainable catering and sustainable aviation fuels underscores its leadership on the world stage. Aviation is indeed the business of freedom, and KQ is making that freedom sustainable. Congratulations to the entire KQ team. The ministry stands with you as a key partner in building a greener, more connected Kenya. Sustainability is at the center of the future aviation, and we must ensure that Kenya Airways remains both profitable and also competitive through leveraging modern global trades. Asanteni. Because of our limited understanding of sustainability, that is a speech for today. But I wish to say a few things. I learned KQ, you have been first in many fronts, and you are the pride of Africa. And today we are here at the Pride Center. What an honor for you and for us as a government. We want to acknowledge you for that and to congratulate you to keep doing it. You have said this is a standalone but externally verifiable report. That is another first. So we are proud of you as our pride of Africa. That means it's not just Kenya, but the region. I like also the emphasis you're putting on women and leadership and in the entire KQ system, because it is a bit worrying when our women are nowhere to be found, and especially at the leadership positions, at the senior management, and across all sectors. So we want to applaud you for that, because it is deliberate. Don't you think so? It is deliberate. We have talked about train deliberately so. And I'm very sure if we work together, all the partners, all the players in the industry will be in a position to build this. Sustainability integrator thing I got from the previous speakers is on, I've forgotten your name. Yes, the other politician, my colleague politician, yes, Paul. Paul talks about Fly Kenya policy to ensure it is in place. That is exactly what we would want to do, and I will be a champion of it. But then we need to ask ourselves a few questions so that we ensure our people are well catered for. So this is a discussion we can have. I'm very sure we would want to support our airline and all of us, because there's a lot of traveling in government, but they fly other airlines. The question should be why? Why not our carrier? And I'm very sure those are things we can handle. Those are things we can sort out and ensure that it is implemented seamlessly. So basically that is what I would want to say. I have a background in environment, and maybe that is why I had a bias. But why are you not clapping? And I told you, I'm not like Paul. I told you I'm a politician. So, but Paul is the number 2 in this, because he said like politician. That is a politician. He's just hiding somewhere. So I want to wish you well. I want to congratulate all of you for work well done. Greetings from the Cabinet Secretary, who wanted to be here with you for this very important occasion. But today is a Cabinet Day. So he said I pass his greetings to the team, and they will be visiting soon. Thank you very much, and God bless all of us.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for our peers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you've heard a lot about reading this particular report, and I'm sure many of you are wondering where the report is. We are all about sustainability, and I would like to invite you to watch the screens in front of you shortly, because the way we are planning to launch this is in a sustainable way. I would also like to invite our CEO, Alan, to just take us through this. The sustainability link is on the website where people can go and access. Actually, it's not. Yeah.
These guys are delegating upwards. Have you ever heard of people delegating upwards?
Thank you, Alan. So we have not printed the report. Our report is online. I think we only have one hard copy. So this is how we will access the report. On the KQ main website, that's the way it appears. There is an icon up there called sustainability. So once you click the sustainability icon up there, you will be able to access the report. Yeah. So there is a report. So what we'll do going forward, that's the first report, but going forward, you'll be seeing 2024, 2025, 2026. So every year you are able to click read more, you'll be able to read the 2024 report. We also uploaded the 2022 and 2023, which were not published. They were internal documents, but it is basically, as we have said, it's progressive, and we continue measuring ourselves. You click on the red, whatever button, read more, you actually launch the entire report. It is how many pages report, Wakina? 100 pages of report. It has a lot of data. You will be able to see the report of the external assurer. They'll basically indicate what they have done in terms of reviewing and the areas they have looked at. And
to please go ahead and cut the cake. Let me hold this.
No, the PS is telling me we should cut with swag. I think aviation is going to be a swaggy from now.
Okay. And then for the media who are present, we will be having...
...for us in the sustainability department. And that's why we're taking this opportunity to thank you all. So to start with, our flight crew. Oh, I'm so sorry. I meant our speakers, our panelists, and our guests. Thank you for making time to be here. Secondly, I want to thank you all for this amazing flight, because we have a trafficking team and beyond, and everybody at Kenya Airways. We thank you for being bold. We thank you for taking the uncharted route. We thank you for having the courage to take on every single step in this difficult journey. As we prepare to descend, I leave you with this. Sustainability is not a final destination. It is a dynamic flight path. Some days it's the tailwinds, some other days it's the handwinds. But every mile flown brings us closer to a net zero horizon. Let's keep our trays stowed back, our seatbelts fastened, and our eyes on the sky, because Kenya Airways is cleared for a more sustainable takeoff. All the best as you fly with us, and I hope you will take an opportunity outside to give us your thoughts, to give us your feedback, and to enable us to become a more sustainable airline. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wakina. There is still cake here to be served. We'll start the same. We will end the same way we started. I'd like to invite Linda Okolo to close for us with a word of prayer, and then we can go and have some snacks outside as you enjoy the cake as well. Yes.
I take this opportunity to thank everyone. Thanks, Wakina, for that. As a hospitable African home, we cannot let our key guests leave without anything. So I'll ask Alan to come and appreciate our key guests for taking their time out to be with us. Not everyone will give two. The others will be able to send later. Thank you.
Okay. Is this a gift I'm giving them?
No.
Oh, it's a gift. Okay. So in the meantime, I can sing a song or dance. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Yeah. Please access the report on our website and interact with it. Give us feedback. We produced a very limited number of copies. I'll give one to the PS to go with and have her ready. Yeah, so here we have gifts. I will give to the two PSs, PS and secretary. So first off, I want to call the PS. This PS, let me just first of all say what we are giving you. Here, this is upcycled material. See, it's packaged very beautifully. It says thank you. Let me open it up for you. So, this is a glass. This just help me. Let's open one of them. Let's open it, don't worry. Yeah, okay. So this glass here is recycled material. It is made out of some of the items that we use on board. So we have a studio that we use this material. We have a few of them here. I know you don't drink wine, so you just have water. You can have water, remember? For the stomach, yeah? Okay, just let me give this. That's okay. We'll give it like this.
Thank you so much.
And next is John. Same. Thank you very much. Okay.
Linda.
Okay, let us be upstanding. Let us pray. Our God and our Father, we are gathered here with hearts that are glad, hearts that are full of gratitude for even this far you have brought us, oh God. We look at the beginning of the journey of our sustainability report until the delivery.
Down there, and also for the media, we'll be conducting interviews downstairs. For the rest of us, we can enjoy some snacks that are just as you exit outside here. There's a setup there that you can enjoy something small. Thank you so much once again.